Okay.
Hello and welcome to Change Your Thinking, Change Your Body, how to gain permanent weight loss, gain body confidence, and find a happier you in the process. Today I'm joined by Nijola Sparkis. Hi, Nijola.
Hi, everybody.
Nijola is a licensed spiritual practitioner and a certified life coach who will coach you to heal your shadow, your blind spot. I like that. Making you more powerful to create exactly what you desire in every area of your life. She maintains that everything in your life is a relationship, and when you make peace with all aspects inside yourself, all aspects outside you reflect that peace and inner well-being. I like that a lot, Nijola. In fact, maybe I'll start this interview with saying I've often said very much that the most intimate relationship you will have with anyone in this lifetime will be the one you have with yourself. So tell us a little bit about your journey with body image and weight loss, and sort of how you married. How we'll talk about what you bring to the world. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Lucia, for inviting me on this summit. This is a topic I don't usually talk about. I'm known as a relationship coach, but like you just read in my bio, everything outside of you, everything going on in your life is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. So I was raised in a family that was a very overeating kind of family. European, Lithuanian, we were very dysfunctional. My mom was super abusive. My sister was 8 years older than me, and she started putting on weight through high school and constantly dieting. As a teen, the body image thing is so huge, and she was getting ready for her prom and she wanted to look good. So by the time she's 19, she's full-blown struggling with her weight, overweight. And I'm 11 at this point. I'm 8 years younger. And she is lecturing me that you had better start dieting now so that you don't ever put on the weight that I put on, because it's such a struggle. Mm-hmm. So I got the message from her. I started dieting. Here's what happened to me. In puberty struck, I kept eating. Like when I was a kid, I ate a lot. I just ate and ate and ate. Puberty struck. I stopped running around with the boys. I stopped playing baseball. I stopped all the physical activity. Boom, my weight went up. Mm-hmm. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. My sister taught me about counting calories. And I went through high school skipping breakfast, and I didn't want to deny myself the stuff that I liked. So for lunch, I had a chocolate bar and a Diet Cola. This is crazy stuff. So I started with really poor eating habits through high school. By the time I got into my 20s, I'm full out bulimia, because I am addicted to sugar and will not give it up. And there were horrible evenings, it's hard for me to admit, of going out to the shopping supermarket at 11:30 at night, buying stuff I knew I shouldn't eat, half-gallon of ice cream, frozen custard eclairs, whatever, sitting there, chomping it all, obviously trying to fill a void that was not getting filled that way, and then making myself throw up. So that, because I was so terrified of putting on the weight. My sister grew to be morbidly obese, and unfortunately, she's no longer with us. She passed away 5 years ago, 10 days before she turned 64, and she developed pancreatic cancer, because cancers grow on sugar. She was so sugar addicted, and she had some little bit of alcohol abuse issues too. And I believe it's all because of the abusive, family dynamic. My brother's still alive. He's over 3 years older than me. He's morbidly obese. His wife is morbidly obese. Mm-hmm. So I live with these issues. I see them. Thank God I got normalized. And really what normalized me was, I'm doing the bulimia, so people don't know that I have any issues with weight, right? In my 20s. And then I got together with a boyfriend. We decided to move in together. And he was a slender, healthy eating kind of person. And he had, normal amounts on his plate, and he stopped eating when he was full and didn't have any issues with food. And I was so embarrassed and ashamed to let him see me have my eating disorder that I hid that. And thankfully through him, and also at the same time, I got this book called Eating Awareness Training by Molly Groger, which was amazing to me. So those two things together helped to normalize me and helped me to get a healthy relationship with food. But eating awareness training was all about learn to trust your body. I mean, the author said, what if you had a computer that told you exactly what you need to eat and eat what time of day, how much, and that's your body. So you just have to listen to it. So because of all of my emotional issues, I was not in touch with my body. I was living from the head up, in my thoughts and trying to stuff down those emotions. So it was a tremendous gift for me to learn how to befriend my body and realize I can rely on it. It is not going to just, ridiculously get fat on me if I have a good relationship with it. So that was my journey.
Wow. I felt all that emotion that you shared with us. That was something else. And you're right. Our past dictates our future unless you make different decisions and different choices. And you did, out of the whole family dynamic. I'm glad to hear that, because you did make that choice, right? It is about a choice and a decision to do that. I know that you coach people on their healing their shadow. What exactly does that mean, and how it ties into the thoughts and exactly what you just said? Would you tell us a little bit?
Well, yeah. So the shadow is the blind spot that we don't see that we're operating from. So this is the programming that we received in childhood. And Carl Jung said that we're pretty much programmed by the time we're 7 years old. And this is unconscious programming. Now, we call it unconscious. To me, it's because it's nonverbal. And it's actually stored in your body. It's your nervous system. It's your neural pathways in your brain. And all of the messages that you got. And for many people who are struggling with weight, it's about a feeling of not feeling safe in the world. So we, in ancient societies, there were rites of passage that would help you to emerge out of your programming and become what I call the authentic self, the true self. Some spiritual traditions call it the higher self. And these days, brain science is showing us that these different parts of the self come from different parts of the brain. So we have a survival self, what is known as the lizard brain that's back there. And that job is strictly to pay attention to what is going wrong, what's the problem. It's our warning system. It's very important. We don't want to get rid of this. So many positive thinking spiritual paths say, don't go to the negativity, try to stay positive. But it's very important to listen to your survival self so that you know what's wrong, what is the problem. The difference is you don't want that part of you to be what's in control of you. And unfortunately today in modern society, because we don't have the rites of passage that will take us out of the lizard brain through the limbic system, which is our emotional brain, into our neocortex, which is where we have higher level decisions and we get realizations and spiritual experiences. Because we don't have those rites of passage, unfortunately, most of us believe that our personality, our survival self, is who we are, and we identify with that. So here's the trouble, is that if you are leading with that, you're never going to get those higher level desires. And so we have to learn how to get in touch with those programs. And to me, most important is, and I'm a very emotional person, as you can tell, and I bet you are too.
Me too, yeah.
Italian, right?
Bring it on, that's right.
Bring it on. So, for us, I know for myself, I'll speak for myself, being overly emotional was my path. I had to learn how to balance that.
Right.
But for many people in society, we're taught to be afraid of the emotions, to deny them, to shut them down.
Right.
Don't listen to them,
Right.
avoid them. And that is not going to help you to get in touch with the part of you that's running you, which tends to be a very scared 7-year-old, basically.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that's why we want to look at the shadow and learn how to deal with it, work with it, so we can be free of that programming and have control over our lives.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's interesting how we were taught so at such an early age to deny the emotions of it, and I think that's why so many of us now are looking at it here today. I'm seeing some changes though in the youth. My children, my kids are. It's a little bit different, but it's such a personal heart thing for me to help people move along with that. And so in this shadow work, um, the weight loss body image, how are you working with your clients on that? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, so certain issues that come up with people around body image. And, like we said in the beginning, if you go to my website, you'll see that I say that everything is a relationship. So you can be dealing with, I coach a lot about love and how to attract your loving mate into your life. Is eluding you, and that's a problem. Or if you have health issues, that image is part of that kind of area. So you have to look at what is your relationship with your health? What's your relationship with your body? What's your relationship with your body image? What's your relationship with food? So for example, in my family, my mother was very highly critical, very abusive in a lot of different ways. And so for us, it was a wound in the feminine energy. Mm-hmm. Feminine energy is about being able to receive and about havingness, allowing yourself to have. It's about allowing yourself sensual pleasure, which is what food is. It's about allowing yourself to take in nourishment. So we look in my clients of, how do you feel about nurturing yourself, nourishing yourself, allowing yourself to receive? So many women in particular are givers. We want to give, take care of our children, take care of our spouses, take care of our girlfriends, take care of our communities, do volunteer work. And then we end up depleted, and we are, not having a good relationship with self-nurturance, allowing ourselves to have, to receive. We start to feel selfish or guilty. So we look at these kind of programs. And then, of course, I had already mentioned about emotional eating. It's like, I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling kind of steady. What's in the icebox? Is there ice cream? Is there something that will make those serotonin levels kick in? We kind of use it as a drug. Ooh, give me my chocolate. Mm-hmm. That'll balance things out. For me, bananas really do it. I have a banana and I'm chill. It's great. So, fortunately these days it's a banana and not the chocolate part.
Yeah.
The sugar or the carbs, the
right.
potatoes. My sister had such a potato addiction, and bread. Yeah. She was really big on bread.
I think we could all kind of start naming our nemesis in terms of that. How do you start helping people shift the thoughts? And so, because when all of those cravings come up, that's like a wild bull, right? How you can harness that sucker and you can start running for the fridge or wherever else before the thought sort of kicks into what you know better, right? So how is it that you start people with that?
Well, it's all about awareness, right? But in that moment, your body chemistry is craving, and you probably don't have the strength to say no. So this is where practice comes in. And
Mm,
I have all of my clients on spiritual practices. So
okay.
some of those practices are daily meditation. Some of my clients do yoga. Not everybody's interested in yoga, so it's not for everybody. I have everybody doing some form of affirmation, visualization, or visioning.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the deal. There's three paths to enlightenment. One path is to still the mind. So
Yeah.
that's where the meditation comes in, and getting quiet helps you to get centered. Then you can have the awareness of like, what am I choosing to eat and put in my mouth right now? The second way is to expand your heart. So you open your heart, you feel like you're expanding your energy, and that helps you to get back in touch with your true self rather than the craving survival self. Or the
Mm-hmm.
third part is get into your body. So for me, that was my path. I had to learn to listen to my body, to trust it. The eating awareness training book says, don't eat, put a number on your hunger, with 10 being ravenously hungry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, the opposite, 10 being totally stuffed to
Okay.
capacity, and
Okay.
like 1 being ravenously hungry. So she said, train yourself to not eat till you're a 2.
Oh.
Now that's hard for most of us, and
Yeah.
especially for those of us who get used to eating as an entertainment. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
really hungry, but let me go see what's in the cabinet. I just want to snack on these things, the salty stuff, the sugary stuff, whatever it is.
A distraction. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, part of it is commitment. Now, you're not going to make a commitment to yourself unless you no longer have a lot of those programs running you. So when I work with my clients, we work on seeing the patterns, releasing the energy, because there is emotional energy holding these beliefs in place. And while they are being held in place, you have no control. You are not home. Your authentic self is not home. So it's
Right.
a homework that helps you to, in that moment, be able to say no. But you got to do the homework at a different time, not when you are about to face the
Right.
temptation of like, oh, I gotta have it, I gotta have it. So.
Right. And it's so powerful. I think that that's the thing. I know for me, I had that shift in thinking also to get the mind, where the mind goes, the body follows, right? It's so, and what you focus in on grows and all of that. So it is important to say, I have to commit to this, because I'll applaud you in just your shift in thinking from just your past, excuse me, and what you learned in life. So it was a choice that you made also to,
Yeah.
get what to take.
So that boils down to your
Right.
commitment to yourself.
That's right.
And how can you
Exactly.
stick with your commitment with yourself if you don't believe you're worth it,
Exactly.
or you don't have deservability issues, or you are actually interested in punishing yourself for some reason?
Hmm.
That we have all of these programs running us, and we got to look at them, and we got to release the emotion holding them in place. And for that, you can't be afraid of going into that emotion, because when I take my clients into their emotion, they find that that emotion has a message for them. So
Hmm.
we have to learn how to listen to this emotion instead of running from it or not wanting to feel it.
Right.
And then that's how you grow. You listen to it, and it'll tell you either something you need to put in place or something you need to release.
That's
And
it.
then you work with getting the energy out of your body. And that's when you can make better choices
Yeah.
in the moment.
Yeah.
It's energy that is freed to give you dominion over your choices.
Exactly. And I often find when I work with my clients too, that when you out it, it shrinks it. It's not
Yeah.
this big, blockage, demon it shrinks it, because you own it. And,
Yeah.
we all have our story.
You
And
feel it to heal it.
exactly. If you keep
Yeah.
dragging your story, and I'm a, most people will know when I say that, how's that working for you? And if if you're sick of the direction it's going, you have a choice, and patience with the end result. You look, you're a walking example. It works works when you change the way you're looking at it and give it a different meaning, you can move forward. Yes. That's
And I also find that a lot of women need to develop self-compassion.
yeah.
You know, there's a lot of different forms of self-love. There's a great coach called Christina Rilo. She teaches that there's 10 branches of self-love. Okay. So one of them is self-compassion. If you don't have compassion for what you're going through, for your emotions, for your old programming, for the fact that you're not
technical difficulty. There you are. So we had a little bit of a moment of pause there. So sorry. I think we last heard you say the emotion, the compassion for self. And I think that that's right. You know, it's funny because if you ask anybody else, would you do this for your best friend, your sister, your mother, they would say, absolutely not. And yet, you know, there's that turn it in. You have to have that compassion for you first. If you're not there, it's almost like if I don't do that, how can I give it to anybody else? Right.
That's it. The oxygen mask on yourself first.
Start here.
Then you've got something to offer others.
Exactly. I love that metaphor and that imagery oftentimes. So what is the most powerful point you want to bring home to this audience? And I don't know if that couples in with this other question, which is if I could do something today, because I know there's a lot of urgency with people. They're like, okay, I get it. Let me look at my past. I get it. But I need to do something like yesterday. You know what I mean? Yesterday's too late. I get that, right? We sort of make the decision. It's too uncomfortable and I want to make changes now. So what might that, and that was a whole mouthful for you. Yeah. What might that look like to bring to the audience today?
Well, you know, you kind of said it earlier. Everything is energy. So shift your energy, whatever it takes for you to shift your energy without, you know, relying on a food to shift your energy or what you're consuming, you know. Right. So when we release what we've been holding on to, we have more energy for creating what we desire. Now, when I work with my clients in one session, it's usually about an hour session, they get their major realization. They release some of that energy. As they move forward into the days and weeks and months ahead, it continues to unfold. They continue to have realizations, but you just got to get that one sticking piece. So the next time you feel some kind of emotion coming through you, let it, sit with it, listen to it, feel it. Don't be afraid of it. See what it has to say to you and treat it with tremendous compassion. This is a voice inside of you that has been wanting to be heard for years, okay? Probably since you were around 7, and it hasn't been heard. So give yourself the gift of hearing your hurt inner child, you know, whatever it is. And the interesting thing for me to this day, I have a habit, which I know that some experts say don't do this and others say do this. This works for me. I weigh myself every morning. I'm a numbers person. Okay. I can see if I'm up a pound or 2, and then I know how to regulate myself that day so that it doesn't get away from me. So I have noticed that when I am in an emotionally heavy place, if I am dense with something that's on my mind, I'm worried about, somebody said something to me, I'm miffed at them, I'm depressed, whatever it is, I weigh more, even if I haven't eaten more. It's interesting. And then as soon as I deal with the emotion, I let it go. Sure enough, the next day, I'm down those 2 pounds or whatever it was. So my parting thought is for everybody, let's lighten up. And that's in a lot of different ways.
Exactly.
Lighten up the load you're carrying from the past. Lighten up how you feel in this moment. Lighten up on yourself. Give yourself a break when you're not doing things perfectly. You know, let's all just lighten up, and that will lead to a physical lightening up.
I completely agree with all of that, everything that you just said. And, you know, because I've been met with people that go, oh, stop, that's a bunch of malarkey. I'm like, okay, well, either choose that and see how it works for you. Because I agree with you. Where my attitude and that energy is, it absolutely is.
They just haven't been there yet. So we'll see,
Exactly. It's just, you know what? Open it up. It's all there for you. It's you who will be found, is what I often
Exactly.
say.
That's the bottom line.
I often
You're
say,
finding your authentic self
yeah.
rather than the survival self, the emotional self, the reactive self.
That's it. And if you're sick and tired of the direction that your life is taking, then you can think about this. Change your thinking will change your body. It will ultimately change your life. We can plug in anything into that word. We're talking about the body and the body images today, and nurturing that so that you can move forward. So I appreciated everything you had to not only say to us today, but everything that you shared with us today. That was definitely that was very heartfelt, and I appreciate your sharing yourself vulnerably as you did today,
A
Nijola.
little emotional and scary for me, but I did
Yeah,
it.
no, I appreciate it. I really do. That, because you know what? I bet you connected with many, or if it was just one person, yay. But I
It
bet
was worth it.
a lot of people. I mean,
Absolutely.
I've got goosebumps because I connected with you. I too had my own, and we push through that. We can either be a victor or the victim. And you know what? Our life was our life, but we don't need it to be our future, right? So
Right.
change the way we look at that, change our thinking, will change our body, and everything will open up from there.
And
Thank you.
change our feeling. I always add that.
That's exactly right. Well, I have 4 things I usually, it's the thought creates an emotion.
Right.
The emotion dictates my action. My action gets me my results.
Right.
So if I don't like the direction of the results, we'll dial it back. What have I been thinking about? Because that's exactly what you're getting, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, oh, okay, I can clearly see that. Sometimes it's harder to make that shift. But you know what? The awareness, like you said, be aware right now. If anything you take away today, pay attention today to what you're thinking about. And let's see what emotion it creates, to what action, to what your result is. And we can dial that back. And we're here for you. So, Nijola, thank you so much. I know you have a special gift for our audience today, too. Did you need to set that up at all? I know I'm going to put everything.
I'll just tell you a little bit about it because it's a visioning process that I created for the new year. But we're not too many months into the new year yet, so I'm believing and hoping that you can use it for the rest of your year, just to set yourself up with clarity. And this is different than visualization where you are imagining what you want.
Okay.
This one is listening to your inner self for the messages that want to emerge through you. So you're going to get some messages from your body to yourself about what it wants from you. And so I highly recommend that you do the visioning process for the 2017 year.
Excellent. That's going to marry with something to do today, right? Yeah. Something they can do today. So download that free gift. And thank you so much for your generosity in providing a free gift to us too. Yeah. And I'll have all the details in the email that everybody's going to get to see this interview. Once again, thank you. This was a pleasure. We live in the same state now, so you never know when we're going to cross paths again. I really appreciated your time today, and I appreciated the audience's time today and listening to what we had to say. And I really know that one thing you're going to get out of this particular interview is going to help you move forward. I know it is. So much love to everyone out there, and stay tuned. There's more. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.